Hello everyone, it's the Chief from the AFL podcast, the AFL Switzerland podcast. Let's not get ahead of myself. I am here with Sebastian Spagnuolo from the Coburg Football Club. Sebastian, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
The first question we always like to ask our guests: who do you follow?
In the AFL?
I know who you follow in the VFL.
Yeah, Collingwood.
Collingwood.
Yeah, don't hold it against me.
With a few Collingwood supporters back home in Switzerland. Yeah. And did you grow up in a footy family?
Yeah, I did from a very young age. 6-7 years old, my dad took me to what is now called Auskick in Australia. Learned the game, learned the basics, and from that point on, I couldn't put a footy down. I played local league football for 20 odd years. And
wow. Which club did you play for?
I played for 5 different clubs actually.
Wow.
But I started at a club called Taylors Lakes out in it's called the Essendon District Football League, and played there for 8 years and then moved on to numerous clubs. But I wasn't a great footballer, but I enjoyed playing and then made a path through coaching onto management.
Beautiful. And did you grow up out in the Taylors Lakes or that Essendon area?
Yeah, Taylors Lakes.
Taylors Lakes?
I grew up there, went to school there and high school, etc. And that's where family is.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You started your role as a development coach from my research. Could you please tell us about that and your career at Coburg? You're the general manager here, is that correct?
Yeah, general manager now.
Yeah.
Been general manager, this will be my 4th season in 2020. Back in 2014, I just saw an ad, Coburg were looking for development coaches. Back then, Coburg Football Club had a senior team and a reserve team. The reserves was called Development League. So I was the forward line coach of the Development League, so the forward line coach for the reserves. I saw the ad, applied for it, and thought I probably wasn't credentialed enough. Got the role, and I've loved the club ever since, really. I've always liked watching Coburg back in the day on TV, and I've played on the ground as a local junior. That's how I got into the footy club.
I can understand your passion for Coburg. They're an old club with a very rich history. We were talking a little earlier about, you mentioned your new coach. How excited are you to have, I wrote the name down, Andrew Sturgis?
Yeah, that's him. Andrew Sturgis. We call him Sturge. He's a former player of our club. So he played for the club from 2014 through to the end of 2015, where he had to actually stop playing at this level due to a neck injury he sustained playing for the club. Sturge, in his time at the club, definitely a passionate Coburg person. He fell in love with the place, was a leadership group member as a player, and for him, he's gone out and coached at local level for Bandura, and when our position became available, he applied for it and got the role based on just how much he already knew about our club and how passionate he was to see us improve and climb the ladder.
Yeah, and Bandura also a strong club in is it called the Northern
Football League? Yep, that's
correct.
them. Yeah, so he didn't have the greatest year with them from Bandura's point of view, but for him and his own coaching, he developed communication methods and coaching strategies that will hold him in great stead with us.
Fantastic. Now you've spoken a little bit about your coach. Can I ask, do you have a favourite player here at Coburg?
Oh, geez, I couldn't.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, I've got 45 that I consider, like part of my family, really.
Sure.
But look, to name one, I probably couldn't. But what I will say is we've got a lot of great stories in our football club, and they reach this level of football, and they reach our club from different levels of the community, from local leagues, and some even come from country or really remote towns. So one story and one person that I love them all, but
sure.
His name's Headley Smith. He comes from a really remote town in WA. He's worked his backside off to move to Victoria, set himself up and play at the highest level possible. And in 2019, he got his debut out of nowhere, really, and kicked 5 goals on debut and against Northern Blues at Preston. And
fantastic effort.
Yeah, great story given how hard he worked for an opportunity. So, like I said, I love them all, but his story is a remarkable one.
He stands out.
Yeah,
it definitely sounds like a great story.
Yeah.
Can I also ask, are there any players you have here at Coburg that you think have been wrongly looked over by the AFL and their loss is your game here at Coburg?
Plenty of those that we think have AFL attributes and can one day play AFL. I guess if I'm to mention one, Sam Lowson, he wears number 4 for us, very dynamic, quick, small forward. And I think he's 23 or 24 now. I think he's not far off an opportunity. So in the future. Look out for the name. He's
Yeah.
got the big dreadlock hairdo.
Yeah.
And he's someone that could definitely transition to AFL. But we've got many like him that played at the under 18 level, didn't get drafted for whatever reason. That they keep working on their game, and they just. My advice is you just never know.
Sure.
You work hard enough for long enough, and an opportunity might come your way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're talking a little bit about that rich history that Coburg has. Could you tell some of our listeners and viewers back in Switzerland who would be some of Coburg's more famous players?
Yeah, Adam Sard plays for Essendon, so rebounding small defender. Wears number 42 for them. He came through our club, and he's a local. He's from a town or suburb Brunswick, just further south from Coburg, and he worked really hard on his game. He actually got to our club as a small forward, and our coach at the time moved him into the back line, and the rest is history. So he'd probably be the highest name profile still playing now that people would relate to. And we've also got
a small forward from Sydney.
Robbie Fox.
Yeah,
he's at Sydney. That's right. He's been there going on 4 years now. Luke Ryan at Fremantle, who had an outstanding 2019 season, and Michael Hartley, who's just crossed to Hawthorn from Essendon. So they've come from our club in the last 6 years.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
On a slightly different topic, something we like to do with our guests on the podcast is we play a little quiz.
Right.
It's 10 questions. It's called the How Swazi Are You?
Right.
So where we bring the two cultures, the Swiss culture and the Australian culture together.
Right.
And a couple of other guests on this podcast episode will be also asked the same questions, and we'll see who gets the most at the end. Would that be all right?
No,
with
that's
you?
fine. Let's go.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
So the Australian ones will be a lot easier
right.
naturally
I
than
hope
the Swiss
so.
ones.
Well, yeah, I've got no excuse if I get them wrong.
The first one's a Swiss one.
Right.
Which famous Swiss tennis player won the 2014 Australian Open?
I'm sensing it's a trick question. I don't know. Is it Wozniacki? No? Is she Swiss?
No.
We're going to try Roger Federer then. No?
Nah, not Roger.
Okay, so, I can't get that one. No.
Stan Rawinka.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. Wozniacki's not even Swiss.
No.
Right. There you go.
Okay, one you'll definitely get.
Right.
Who is the lead singer of Silverchair?
Johns. Daniel?
Perfect.
Yeah,
there you go. He's on the board.
There you go.
Okay, this one's a little bit tougher. What is the name of Switzerland's longest tunnel?
No idea. Starts with L? Does it start with L?
It's called the Gotthard Tunnel.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And what town's that in?
Oh, now you're testing me.
Yeah.
It's a long... So, traditionally, if you're driving down to the Italian part of
Right.
Switzerland, down to Ticino, you would take the Gotthard
Right.
Tunnel. And I think
Okay.
it's about 26 Ks in the tunnel, something like
Wow.
that.
I think
it's
so.
a long tunnel.
Yeah, right.
Someone's going to check
at
this
least.
up, and
There you
someone's
go.
going to pull me up about this.
Sorry, I put you on the
No,
spot.
no worries. Okay, here's one you'll get. What is the name of the award given to the best and fairest AFL player each year?
The Brownlow Medal.
The Brownlow Medal.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you like the Olympics?
A
little bit.
I reckon I know stuff from further back than now, yeah.
It's not as good as the footy, but
Nah.
which city in Switzerland hosted the Winter Olympic Games in 1928-1948?
Geneva.
Geneva, no. St. Moritz.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you
St.
go.
Moritz in the east. What is the name of Australia's oldest chocolate bar? Do you want a hint? If I give you a hint, I
Go
reckon
on.
you'll get it.
Go
It's
on.
purple, or the wrapper is purple.
Right, okay. The Violet Crumble.
Perfect,
Right,
well
there you
done. In which Swiss city did Albert Einstein discover E = mc squared? He had a little apartment there.
I'll say Basel.
Oh, I wish. That's our capital city, Bern.
Right, okay.
Yeah, not far from Basel.
Right.
Here's one you get. What was the name of Australia's first female Prime Minister?
Julia Gillard.
Perfect. 2 more to go. You're almost there. Which tiny country is located between Switzerland and Austria?
Oh, no.
Sometimes referred to as a principality. It's tiny.
Start with L.
Yeah, you're on the way.
I don't know how to say it. Is it Liechtenstein?
Liechtenstein, yes!
Yeah,
There he goes.
There you go.
The Secretary of AFL Switzerland will love that because she comes from
Right,
Liechtenstein.
there you go.
Yeah. Lucky last. Who won the 2019 JJ Liston Trophy?
Tom Gribble. There you go.
Perfect.
There you go.
Sebastian, you've been very generous with your time. Thank you so much for
you.
coming on the
Thank you very
podcast.
much.
We wish Coburg an exciting season, and we will watch from afar. We do love it in Switzerland. We do love watching the VFL.
Thank you very much, and go to the Winterthur Lions.
Thanks.
Cheers.